Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I know it's been a while and I apologize, but I'm here now and I think a great comeback in the kitchen to make would be something chocolatey. Now, normally I don't have a sweet tooth, but sometimes late at night I do. And I just whipped this together in just a few minutes. And also, I don't know how many of you guys work in an office, but I used to work in an office for many years in my younger years. And I remember it was somebody's birthday, they'd always stop off at Safeway, or even worse yet, the gas station, and pick up a few dozen things of donuts. And everybody would run to the cafeteria and eat that horrible, that food. And I think this would be a great idea to make yourself quickly and bring it to work and, not give your coworkers food hangover, give them a nice little really good chocolate high. And anyway, so it's just a few ingredients too. It's so simple. And I try and be simple. I don't always succeed, but this is simple. Okay, so the ingredients, really quick: cacao powder, vanilla extract or vanilla bean. I'm using vanilla extract, peanut butter, coconut oil, and maple syrup. So I'm gonna take 1 cup of cacao powder, and a really good thing to do, Marcus turned me on to it, is sift it, because it does make the chocolate nice and smoother. So wow, I just jumped right into cook. I am at my just most comfortable and my favorite place in the kitchen. That's why I just jumped right on it. Okay, so I'm glad this didn't stick so bad. Okay, we're done with the sifter. Here I am. Okay, maple syrup. Gonna do a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. Bear in mind, this makes a lot of servings, so one person is not getting that whole 1/2 cup of maple syrup. 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I get the peanut butter from the Whole Foods bin. Let's see, about a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. And that's it. So now I'm gonna wire whisk it. Just a little wire whisk. Oh, forgot the coconut oil.
How much of that?
1/2 cup too. Again, this makes multiple servings. With a wire whisk, just whisk it. It's nice and liquidy, but in a couple seconds, it's just gonna firm up. Okay, so they say when you make like chocolate molds to put it in saran wrap. Line a sheet with saran wrap. I don't like saran wrap because I just don't like my food touching plastic. So parchment paper works just fine. Remember when you were a kid and you used to ask your mom, "Can I have the licky?" I do. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my trusty spatula and start pouring this onto the parchment paper that is lining a bowl. Okay, now we're gonna do the topping. And there's a really yummy topping that I like to put on it. You can use any nut flour. If you wanna be a gourmet, ultra gourmet, you can do this step. And I can't wait to try it. To make my own nut powder, I'm gonna use hazelnut flour, but I roasted these in the oven. I know, I'm evil. I used the oven. But if I had time, I would have put it in the dehydrator for about 14 hours. I drizzled some maple syrup over these hazelnuts, just a little bit, and then they were all sticky, so Marcus' sugar adhered to it real nice. And then I threw it in the oven for 12 minutes. But again, like I said, you can put it in the dehydrator. It works amazing. And don't dehydrate it until you're like, oh my God, it's still not crunchy. I'm gonna keep dehydrating it because when you're trying to make things crunchy in the dehydrator, a lot of times they will not crunch up in the dehydrator. You have to take it out after 12, 14 hours, and then as soon as it hits like cold air, regular air, it starts to crisp up. Same when you're making candied nuts, same thing applies. So for the topping, and then you could put this in a Cuisinart and or a Vitamix and make your own amazing nut flour. This is way more coddled than this is, but I'm gonna be using this. It's fast and simple and easy, but if you wanna blow people's minds with the way you cook, you could use those. And I'm putting half a cup of a nut powder. You could do cashew powder, almond powder. I'm using hazelnut powder because this torte's about hazelnut. And then 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. And just give it a little quick twirl so that all the powder, mixes into the maple syrup. Okay. So I was trying to make this as fast and easy as possible. And a lot of people say, oh, but it takes too long. And to them, I say, how many hours have you put on the internet? Okay, this is really, it does go a little better. I should have put a little bit more maple syrup. But once it freezes, everything will adhere better. And it'll be a much more successful torte. And then here's these delicious hazelnuts. I just like to put them around, I don't know, decorate it a little bit. And then when you're done, you could pop it in the freezer overnight or until it firms up. I call this the hazelnut chocolate torte. I don't know, I don't wrap it or anything. I guess you could. I'm not going to. I'm just going to pop her in the freezer and go get the finished product. Here we go. Didn't I have a cutting board? Okay. See? Peels right off, just like plastic, but without the BPA. And if you guys know me at all, you know I love making a nice, beautiful presentation when it comes to food. And spring is in the air here in Vegas. The flowers are blooming. And there we go. Or I was thinking maybe we could chop it in half and then put it in there so we could see it. What it looks like on the inside. Nice, that is gorgeous. If I don't say so myself. Hey, that's kind of cool. A lot of raw food cakes, pies, they're made with the nut crust on the bottom, and bless our little raw food bacon selves, it's not like a crust, crusts are flaky. So I thought, well, why don't we just put the goo stuff on the top and, have the nice hard chocolate on the bottom and make it more torte-like. So that's chocolate torte, and super easy, 15 minutes. If you have a hankering for a sweet tooth like I do some nights, late at night it hits me, I just go whip this up in a bowl really quick. It's not processed. I know all the ingredients. Of course, I don't make it as beautiful as this. I'm just eating it out of the bowl. But what I'm trying to say is that, people say that, oh, I don't have time to make this, I think that they should make the time to make it, because next thing you know, you've been on the internet for 3 hours. And if you have time for the internet surfing that long, I don't know why people don't have 25 minutes to do something that is so vital, their health. And then they're healthy and they live longer, and then they have more time than the average person does who didn't eat right or who ate fast food does on this planet. So I have a lot of new recipes coming up too that are trying to be easy. Some staples that will enable you to just, make it, spend half an hour making it, a big batch, and then you have it for the next week. You could just quickly add stuff on the top of it, your own healthy rainbows, and it is filling, satisfying and filling and just amazing, and I can't wait to share it with you. Thank you very much for joining me today. I missed you guys a lot. I really did. Take care. Bye.